everybody, welcome to Big E's Auto. This is Big E. So today we got train wreck 1997 Ford F250 pickup, two-wheel drive, power stroke. We got sitting here. I'm having an issue. The last time we pulled, we went to the drag strip, pulling the trailer. The steering was extremely loose, so I thought, I was looking around the suspension, and I noticed, and let's see if I can get you up here to take a look at what's going on. Let me get it on camera here for you. This here is what's wrong. Okay, this is the connects to the inner tie rod. Okay, so what I'll show you how I found it. Basically, what you're going to do is jack up on here, and then you're going to grab your tire of your vehicle at 9 o'clock and at 3 o'clock position with your hands. And then what you're going to do, I don't know if you can see that movement on there, but there's a lot of movement there. So we're going to replace this. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this up. That's a 15 millimeter. And then we're going to loosen that up as well. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to count the threads. We're eventually going to have to put, we're going to have to take this truck to get a wheel alignment. But to get it close, we got to count these threads. So when we put the new one in, we have to match that number of threads. So what we're going to do is, I'm sure you can see, let me get in position here, guys. Yeah, it sucks not having a garage. Let me bring you over here a little more. This tie rod, and you're not going to see it. I have to, maybe, let me try tilting you up a little bit. It's all full of gunk, so we can't even count the threads at this point with all kinds of grease and stuff. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to try and clean that off so that way we can count the threads. Okay, so now that's done, we can now count the threads. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to make a mark here as a reference. You can use a paint, but I can't find it, and actually I can't find any of my paint markers. So I'm going to make a mark here as a reference point, because if you count up here or down here, you're going to get a different number. So you want to count here to keep yourself consistent. So our magic number is 10. So now what we can do is we can take our 15 millimeter socket, and I'm only going to loosen the inside clamp on your outer tie rod end. Okay. Back that off so when we take this apart, it'll screw out. Now, you can see that's all goody-goody. Now we're going to go over here to this point here, and then we're going to let me pull it down right there. Okay, so we have to, oh, I gotta move you down yet. I'm not quite in position. Okay, right about there. So we gotta take our side cutter. And we're gonna have to take this pin out. And naturally, I'm leaning on the plug.
Oops.
course. Of
You're
course.
leaning on the plug.
So, we're gonna
You're leaning on the
wiggle
plug.
this out.
I got the thing.
Thank you. My son's helping me out today.
Oh.
It's always good to have a little extra help.
Yeah. Especially if you're working by yourself.
Yep. So, gonna go ahead.
Why are you gonna cut the wire?
Well, I have to do it. It's a castellated nut on there. So they put a pin through there so that way it won't vibrate loose. And of course it's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Alright, so we got that off. So now what we can do is I'm not sure what size that is. So I got my handy dandy we got our, keep it right about here, okay?
Okay.
So they can see.
Okay.
Got my handy dandy metric adjustable.
What's funny about that?
And I turned it the wrong way on this metric, on my metric adjustable wrench.
Question.
But anyway, we got to have that nut. Once we get that off, we should be able to take this apart. That, well, actually came apart pretty good. I was expecting a little bit of trouble. So we're gonna.
If the whole truck's full.
It won't.
Oh.
I highly recommend using jack stands when you do this. Even a bottle jack could be okay if it has a mechanism in it. So. Yeah, it's all the crud's getting in there now. So it's going to go a little harder, and I should have just went ahead with a socket ratchet deal. But you can't always make the right calls.
Yep. Yeah.
Alright, so we have our castellated nut is off. You can see here. So now what we can do, and once you know I forgot to get a hammer, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get a hammer, and we're gonna see if we can get that apart and spin that out, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're back. So what I'm gonna do here is I have a separation tool that I use for ball joints, and I'm going to use that here as well. So I'm going to take that and my hammer and just see if I can. Actually, there goes the light. So obviously having some difficulty here. So let me see if I can get this loose, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back here. So it was a little bit of a thing. That joint's in there pretty good. Let me bring you here a little bit. Actually, let me back you up. We'll have to do this from a distance, I guess. So you see I got part of it out here. I figured you guys can be here when I get this apart. So when you pop that joint, your tire, obviously, because it's not connected to your center link, your tire is going to come out, and that's normal. So here's the joint here that was on. This is the joint that was on the center link. You saw that wobbling. You can see that shot. So now we're working on getting this turned out of here. So I use a chain wrench, and we're almost at the point where we can get this apart. We're going counterclockwise, I would say. Looks like here. Should almost be ready to come out. There we go. There it is, all rusty and yuck with our beat up joint. So now what I want to do is I'm going to clean up some of this rust here. Also take some penetrating oil and just spray in there to kind of help with when we put the new one in. That screws in a little easier on that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and get the other inner tie rod, and I'm going to clean up a couple things. When I come back, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this thing in. Hey guys, it's Big E. So we're back here. So I got the new piece here. It is, I don't have a part number, but it is a Moog. I like Moog stuff. I can't prove it, but from what I hear, they actually overbuild this stuff that's actually better than factory. I don't know how true that is. That's what I've been hearing from different people. What I like is this. So you put the grease zerk in, you had to put that in. They also give you a new castellated nut and a new pin, which is good to know, because I didn't realize I don't have that size pin. But luckily, there's one in the kit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to install this. So let's get right to it. Let me set you up here with the camera. Now, so let me bring you over here so you can see where we're at. Right there's our outer tie rod end. Now that oil has been soaking in there for a bit. Now, if I remember, it was 10 threads. We're going to turn this in until there's 10 threads exposed on the new rod. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to spray up these threads here. Let that soak in there. And we're going to go ahead and try and get that started. Hopefully this isn't a big to-do deal.
Here you go.
So, thanks, bud.
Promise I bring it back.
Yep, you brought it back. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this in. So I'll tell you what, instead of boring you for how long this takes to turn this in, I'm going to turn it in, I'm going to set it up, and when I come back, we're going to put the joint into the center link. Guys, back here, we've got this on. I was having trouble seeing it. Now, I don't know if you guys I'm gonna try and bring it in here. Let me lower the camera. See if that, you can see here the threads. I was having trouble counting with seeing, so what I did was I took my screwdriver. So we start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you're having trouble, and I forgot my glasses, if you're having trouble seeing your threads, carefully, I rushed it there. I counted it and other stuff. Take your screwdriver and just drag it and count the clicks. Can you hear that? That's another way you can count if you can't see the thread. Sometimes it's hard to see. You can count the clicks. So this right now is set. The other issue that I had here was putting this in. It was binding and I was worried about cross-threading, and that wasn't it at all. It was going hard. So do this trick. So if you're putting this in and all of a sudden it gets hard, spray penetrating oil in here again to flush out the rust, because now with taking that in and out, you're knocking rust loose. And it was actually binding up on the threads and making it that I was having a hard time tightening it. I stopped. I sprayed more penetrating oil in. I let it sit for about a minute or two, and all of a sudden it went real nice and smooth, and it's holding. Next step, we're gonna put it on the center link. All right, guys, I'm back. So we're underneath here. So basically where we need to go is here into the center link. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna bring the tire with us as well. That's in there now. Remember, our kit came with a new castellated nut. Okay, so then what we're gonna do, I still want to find out what size socket that is. You're gonna need a shallow. I'll tell you what, let me do this. Looks like, let me find out what size that is, so that way if you're doing one of these, you don't have to look for a socket like I did. I'm gonna find out what socket that is. When I come back, we're gonna tighten that up, and then I'm gonna let you guys know what size that is. All right, guys, so the size wrench socket you're gonna need for this is 21 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna carefully tighten this up, and you want to make it that hole for the pin, line it up for that. And then unfortunately I'm wearing gloves, so this is going to be a hard deal to get out of here, but take your pin, you're going to put it in there. You may need to back it off just a little. See how that is. And you get the pin to go through. You can take your diagonal cutter, try and grab one of those the sides, bend that over like that. Okay, so that's like that. That's tight. Now we gotta tighten this up. So this here is a 15 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna tighten that up as well. Because if you don't, there's a good chance that you're gonna have that'll fall out. You'll be driving down the road, your tie rod falls out, you're gonna get in an accident. So that's tight. So this is all good. So our next step will be to go ahead and we're gonna grease it. And then we're gonna let the truck down to do that. Levi helped me out. Levi, do you want to wave? Wave to the people. He helped me out. He helped me out with a little stuff, but it helped me out. Anyway, the only thing left to do at this point is put grease in. So grease that joint real good, and double check that everything's tight. Let the truck down, and I might do a video coming up where we road test it and see what the difference is. But hopefully this helps to put a inner tie rod on. Fairly simple. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I still highly recommend going to an alignment shop and having the alignment done. I mean, even though we counted those threads, it's close. It's close enough that if you drive it to the shop and back, or you drive it a day or two, it's not going to chew your tire up. But I highly recommend getting an alignment redone on once you do anything with a tie rod or any suspension work at that point. So anyway, that's going to do it for today. Hope you learned something. I hope this helps. I'm hoping this makes pulling the trailer a little less sketchy now that that's going to be tight. Anyway, like and subscribe, hit the notification, leave a comment, watch out for each other, take care of each other. We'll see you next time right here on Big E's Auto. Bye for now.